Hello YouTube and welcome to Go Girl Gaming as we play EverQuest 2. Today we're going to be looking at the prequel to the fall Campansion. The first of two prequels actually. This one is called Malicious Threats and it runs through some point in September. And then there'll be a week break, and then after that will be part 2, and then at some point probably after November will be the actual Campansion. Campansion meaning that it is more than a campaign but less than an actual expansion, and that is the way EverQuest 2 is going, at least reportedly, for the until they state otherwise. So here we are with Muriel Tawnyglade, because I am playing on the Kelethin side for this. You will be in Darklight Woods if you are playing on the Freeport side. So here we go. Oh, thank the Great Mother. She knew to send you to us now just when we needed a seasoned traveler. And what do you need a seasoned traveler for? Nothing challenging for someone of your accomplishments, I assure you. I see your strength and dedication. I know Tunar sent you to us for this reason. She has chosen you for this quest. Oh, really? And what would she have me do for you? The House of Falling Stars have heard some disturbing news from Tunar's Glade. Apparently, there has been some dark characters lurking within it. Dark characters? What makes you say that? They cloak themselves in hate and malice. Sounds like dark elves to me. Corrupting the strength of growth within the Fey Dark. Well, then they must be removed. Precisely. But it's also important that we uncover who they are and their intentions. Well, they're dark elves. Hate and malice. Come on now. I know you will not fail, Emmerly. It's like, okay. I'll go and show you that it's basically some dark elves fluttering around. So for this quest, you're basically going to get some status points, and one can always use status points. Also note that it will adjust the any enemies that you meet will adjust to your level. So this particular tune is a level 71, so any enemies that I run into specific to this quest will level to around 71. So I am flying off real quick on my Quacken to Tunar's Glade, and because I'm actually flying, I actually stand a pretty good chance of passing it. So here we go. Alright. And it's not too far in. I've done this a couple times already, so this will be rather swift. So we hope so. It can be a little sneaky. Basically, there's a general area where they show up. There are my enemies. Nothing. Okay. So now we have to go back to Muriel Tawnyglade. Tell her what we found. There's a lot of running around for this quest, so people who fly definitely have the advantage. It's also going to take you in level 47, 48 zones, so if your tune is significantly less than that, go with a friend, or be very cautious. So here we are back at the House of Falling Stars with Muriel Tawnyglade. I felt the removal of the hate-cloaked ones from within Tunar's Glade. What did you learn? Well, they are members of the Primordial Malice, including strange cultists. They were trying to obscure their presence with a spell. The Primordial Malice? They are Lands Taville zealots. They should be as dead as she is, actually, and Naruk's traitorous daughter herself. Although, quite frankly, to my understanding of lore, she wasn't necessarily dead. When she was supposed to have been killed, her father, Naruk, snatched her up into the plane of hate, and she had just been trying to figure out a way to get back. But that's EQ1 stuff, so... From what I hear, they are not. They are alive and flourishing on Kithakor Island. Well, that explains who they were. Were you able to shed any light on what they're doing there? And it's like, nope, that remains a mystery. Then this quest for Tunar has not reached its conclusion. Disturbances have also been felt at a few locations of growth within the Shattered Lands. So please search Antonica, the Enchanted Lands, and Everfrost for any further activity involving those malice-filled zealots. So, there we go. So, you have to do it in order. Antonica is first, and then the Enchanted Lands, and then Everfrost. So, I am going to pause for all of this teleporting around. Alright, we are in Antonica, and there are no blue dots for these quests, so you basically have to rely on your knowledge of lore and the little clues that they give you, so, and your knowledge of the area. So for example, search for any primordial malice in Antonica where Risen walk. Well, the Risen, of course, are the undead. But there are tons of undead, really, throughout Antonica. There are several spots where undead walk around. So, basically, you can either visit all those spots and hope that you pick the right one quickly, or you can, you know, make some judgments on where they would most likely be. Like, some of the undead aren't necessarily called Risen. Some seem to would lend itself more to the storyline than others, and that's where I'm at now. This, when I originally did this, was the second spot that I picked. I actually picked the island first, but this is the spot, so here we go. Picked up a cultist augmentation bow, and sometimes they will drop little pieces of vendor trash, but in this case, no. So now we have to, oh wait a minute, I'm gonna go this way. Now we have to search for these primordial malice cultists in Enchanted Lands, where a landing is still. So that is your clue for this one. Now, basically a landing is a dock. And if you've been to the Enchanted Lands and you've actually looked around a lot in the Enchanted Lands, like I have, because I love to explore, you will find that there are other docks besides the main one that you go into. And there's one in particular that stands out if you've ventured into the Enchanted Lands. So that is where we are off to, and also why I picked to hit, because it's a little closer from there. Excuse me. Having a little tickle in the throat. And again, for those who have the ability to fly, yeah, this will go much faster. Leaping helps too. Alright, so here we are at a landing that is still, notice, still, no traffic. No possibility of traffic. And there are our primordial malice cultists, so here we go. Primordial Malice Augmentation Bone. So then our last spot is going to be Primordial Malice in Everfrost, where feet go numb. Okay, now that particular clue doesn't tell you a darn thing because it's Everfrost. Your feet can go numb anywhere. So this is when your knowledge of lore and the area comes in handy. Your knowledge of lore comes in handy because you know who Lance dislikes, and she dislikes Tunar, and her arch nemesis is a follower of Tunar called Feronia Vi. So, what is related to any of those things in Everfrost? Well, the only thing that's related to any of that, that's the other thing, if you've done questing in Everfrost. If you haven't done questing, you wouldn't know it either, but I've done questing there, and there's this thing called Tunar's Arbor there. So that would be the most logical place to start. So that is where we are going to go. Alright, so here we are in Everfrost in the Hollow Frost Grove. For those of you with lower level tunes, there is a horse that you can catch here, and you'll need to because there's a whole cave full of spiders that if you're low level, you will not be able to get through unless you're on the horse. So bear that in mind. So here we are. If you've ever been to Everfrost, you know that these, I don't know, troll-looking things aren't usually laying out here dead. Sorry, folks, but they're shinies! So here we are at Tunar's Arbor, or Tunar Arbor. And if you've been here, you notice that it don't quite look right. So here we are. Tunarbos, the world tree root in Everfrost, has been split. And what do we see here? A mysterious creature. A fearsome-looking fairy creature who has seemingly been turned to wood. Were they the perpetrator of the violence, or were they one of the victims? So I'm going to move in a little bit so you can see it a little. Definitely does not look like a normal fae, even if it weren't turned into wood. And then the next thing is, because I'm supposed to search the destruction around Tunarbos. And so what do I see here? A mysterious bauble. A mysterious arcane object discarded after or lost during the destructive act that befell Tunarbos. So we're going to pick that up. And then for fun, we're just going to look around, but that's all you have to do. See, these troll-looking things, or whatever they are, we're actually looking after. The tree, so they gave their lives trying to protect that tree. And now we are going to head back to Muriel Tawnyglade. Alright, so here we are back in front of Muriel Tawnyglade. Emmerly, you've returned, but I sense a dark power clings to you. What happened? Well, I found more primordial malice within the Shattered Lands. There is no denying that they are working towards some profane goal, but what? Well, I found a small group of them in Antonica and the Enchanted Lands. Perhaps they are searching for something. What of Everfrost? Well, I didn't find any, but I suspect that they had been there. Tunarbos has been split open, and dead creatures are all around it, including one I hadn't seen before. What was it? Describe this mysterious creature. Well, it was fairy-like as best I can say, but maybe part insect, and with the appearance of wood, even its wings, which doesn't seem natural. Could it be coincidence? Well, I wondered that too, but I don't think so. I also found this odd bauble nearby. Interesting. But the bauble is not the source of dark power that I sense on you. Well, then it must be these bones that I took from each of the powerful primordial malice cultists that I encountered. Emmerly, you brought a cursed bones here? And it's like, well, it was as close as I came to a clue until I found the bauble. Ah, you're as wise as you are dedicated. Thank you. I will take one of these bones for my own studies. But you should take the other bone and bauble to the Order of the Arcane. Give them to Mathal Doompetal. He is particularly clever with arcane items. It's like, alright, well, here we go. Okay, so here we are in front of Mathal Doompetal in the Order of the Arcane. And he says, "Hail, Blossom of Intelligence. What business brings you to speak to a member of the Order of the Arcane?" And what's cute is that he actually knows what class you are, because when I did this on my Ranger, he said Blossom of Agility. It's just a nice touch. So I was sent by the House of Falling Stars, and I found this bauble. It is an arcane mind-projecting device, though it is now broken. This is clear to me. But you have something else, too. And it's like, yep. This bone, I claimed it from a powerful, how do we know it's powerful? I mean, anyway, powerful primordial malice cultist. It is horrifically dark. How is it being used? Wielded like a wand, perhaps? It's like, nope. The best I can tell, the cultists use these bones of sentient creatures and pierce their bodies with them, including their eye sockets. Ew. Unthinkable use of such grotesque power. Such an act would require a dark ritual and be carried out with the intent to bring oneself closer to undeath. They must want to pass directly from life to living death without having to die, which A, makes no sense, and B, this is sort of like an inner root sub-cult, and he has nothing to do with death or undeath. That would be more along the lines of Protoxylus, but whatever. So do you think that that's what they're doing, gathering more bones? And he's like, well, that doesn't explain why they're going to specific locations. I wish I had another suggestion, but time may be short. It's like, what? What are you thinking? Let's see what this bone has to show us. You said some bones pierce the eye sockets. I'm going to cast a spell and see what they bore witness to. It's like, you can do that? Go ahead. So, zibbity zam, plop. I see a dark ceremony, yes, conducted by the daughter of Tevil and Viznir. Now, what's interesting is that I don't ever recall reading about Lanner having a child. She was basically too busy running around trying to spread hate, and then after that, she was running around trying to keep from becoming a sacrifice herself. So, not okay, but at some point she had a kid. So it's a blood ceremony interrupted by agents of the human monarchy. Tisserina, the Yadal's jilted bride, is also there. Now, Tisserina is from the Tower of Frozen Shadow, which is in the Great Divide, and that is a very long and drawn-out quest. And she basically got, spoiler alert, she got thrown into a tower by her fiance and locked in there forever, and that was a big old mess. But somehow or other she got out of the tower. She's at this ceremony, so that will be interesting how if they ever decide to tie all that together. And then the other thing that's odd is that they're talking about agents of the human monarchy. My guess is maybe this has to do with the Altar of Malice expansion, which is the latest expansion that's out. I didn't finish that, so I'm curious as to whether or not this is a raid or something, and maybe that whole thing regarding the Altar of Malice is what this is reference to. If anybody has happened to finish that whole thing, including the raid, that watches any of these, please comment. So moving on, the very same, the daughter of Tevil, I don't know how you pronounce that, had welcomed her within their cult. She was a kindred spirit in her hate for Mayong. Now she stood witness to the ritualist's death at the hands of outsiders. Well, did that stop the ceremony? And it's like, nope. It seems to only have served it further. Valandri's intent was to sacrifice herself. Something is happening, something of bone and armor and blood. Mother of all. No! What? What is it? What happened? Lance Teville has risen within the body of her sacrificed daughter. Which is kind of odd, because if you think about it, well, I guess if the body's still warm, I guess you could pull this stunt. But anyway, she walks this realm once more. She, the daughter of Inaruk. She, the attempted usurper of the throne of hate and sworn enemy of Feronia Vi. How could this be? Well, you just said how it is. But anyway, their goddess of malice has returned. Actually, she's a demi-goddess, but anyway. Well, I must tell Queen Amri of this immediately. And it's like, hold up, slow your roll. Why are they in the Shattered Lands now? And what does this have to do with what they were doing in Everfrost? Well, they must have found something of interest in Everfrost, something related to an ancient power. That is what the cultist was in search for when you confronted them in the Enchanted Lands. See, I saw that too. Ah. But I was too late to stop them in Everfrost. Dun dun dun. It's like, yes, but there are more. They were sent all over Norath. Hunt down and kill as many of them as you find. Turn any more of those arcane malice baubles you obtain to Aldalan Rootbed, and he'll reward you. So, that's that. So I finished the quest, got my status points, and then Aldalan is out here. Standing in front of these trunks. And he is another fairy, fae, whatever. And basically he just sells items. House items mostly, some of which are actually related to this prequel and others that are kind of odd. There's also a few costume items that he sells as well. I'll just show a few of them. The ones that seem to be related to the event, and some that are just flat out new. We'll just go through all of them real quick, whatever. So that is, that was Tunara's replica, the broken one. Basket of emerald stoldeer eggs, a bread pan, a gnawing devourer. Long neck lab bottle. Muffin pan. Canosian large ornate rug, which you can make if you have a carpenter. Same with the canopic jar. Stack of 3 scrolls. Iron forged chandelier. Ornate rug. And then this is the outfit, and I'll just put that on real quick just so you can see it. It basically looks like the outfit that you get, that all mages get when they first start, which I was never fond of. I'm not into the balloon pants. They actually don't look too bad on my Ratanga, but on humanoids, the outfit looks absolutely terrible. So this is the Azuri version, and then there's also a tan version of this outfit. The blessed sapling, which supposedly gives fruit. Blessed shrubbery. A Cerdon wall trophy. Crossed oars. A cloak. I do like the cloak. Desiccated ghoul fist. Dwarven mind lamp. Female topiaric mannequin. There's a male one as well. Female ultramarine mannequin. The gems you cannot see. They do not show up in the preview. Gertrude's ornate stein. Oops. Basically a throw over to a nod to Tinkerfest, in my opinion, with Robin's ornate weapon of choice. Golden Kelethin vase. Again, the jewels you can't see. Some of them are charms. Others, there are 2 of them that actually are house items. Magic mouth. Male topiaric mannequin. Male ultramarine and mannequin. Ornamental blade of shadow, which will look cool with monks. Ornamental bottle of mold, which you can hardly see. Claret. Ornamental fist cushion. Don't get that at all. Oversized pin cushion, and yeah, they do look the same. Ornamental pike of fate. Ornamental staff of destiny. Ornamental storm stain Kopesh. Ornate Kelethin bookcase. Ornate Kelethin vase. Shadow tomb. Shadow volume. Signal of the swarm. Is that? Yeah, it's a charm that turns you into a swarm of bats. Small Kelethin decanter. Smithy's scalding point. A selenite sconce, which I happen to like a lot. Again, the outfit again, not going to go through all those. The same ones, just in tan. Towering papasan chair. Crafters can make that. Carpenters can make that, except the cushion's blue. The Tyrannosaurus wall trophy. All-terrain vinegar bottle. All-terrain vintage. So basically the house item version. Wayfarer's boots, which do give you an out-of-combat run speed boost, but in this day and age, not even remotely worth it. Maybe on the time lock servers for the first 10 levels. And then Zatozia's ornamental bullwhip. You can't, of course, even access it on those servers, but... And that's that. So those are all the wonderful things you can get by going around and killing those cultists wherever you can find them. So please like, subscribe, tell a friend, and stay tuned for more EverQuest 2 coverage, particularly of the Campansion and its prequel events. Thanks for watching.